Because continuously, irrespective of what we project outside, we are made up of only these three things if we are not aware and if we don't get out of it with some conscious awareness process, which we'll be doing, of course, in this program. Otherwise, by default, we are running with only these three things. That something is wrong with life. I definitely don't belong here, and I am all alone. It's only these three things happening and speaking and walking and talking through us almost most of the time. Now, there's nothing, by the way, where life is. Life will give what it will give. It's all inside of the cognition I hold. If I am aware, if I have a conscious cognition, that very life situations I can transform to get into the space of being enlightened. Or, if I am unaware, I can use the very same life incidents to be what? In the space of depression. You understand? The same thing. It's like if I have a knife, I can cut an apple, I can cut a throat. If I have a knife, I can do a surgery or I can kill someone. So the knife in itself doesn't promote killing or saving a life. It is what uses the knife. The space that uses the knife, if that space is a doctor's space, what will it do? It will save a life. If that space is a criminal space, what will it do? It will take away a life. Now the best thing is, the choice of either being one that will utilize it for enlightenment or for depression is in our hands. So now with awareness, if we can choose, we can actually move to more and more and more expansion. And we can appreciate life in its fullest beauty. Because life where it is so impartial. It is so much there without any meaning, without any reason of its own. Now when I know that I am the author of, I am the supreme judge of now looking at life and giving whatever meaning I can give, then obviously what will we choose if we are aware? We'll choose to intelligently deal with life, isn't it? We'll choose to now experience the beauty called life rather than the burden called life. Without a conscious awareness, you are still choosing. It's not that somebody else chooses and puts it on your head. But because I am unaware, I choose life to be burden. But the moment I become aware, what will happen? Then my choice will shift to life is beauty. But all of that begins with what? Begins with doing this process, where I get to sit with myself, go back and see, where is it that I made these life sentences to myself? What kind of life sentences? Who do you think is the judge? I am the judge. Who is the jury? I am the jury. Who is the criminal? I am the criminal. Who is the one who is giving the punishment? Who is the one who is taking it? That's the funniest. Me. And who is the one who is crying after that for the rest 40 years? I don't want this and I am living into it. Me. Can you see the insanity of human life? No wonder when Master sees, Swamiji must be laughing his heart out when he sees all of us. It's because it's so stupid. It's worse than what a child would play. A game that a child plays is more intelligent than what we play in our life. Come on. So funny. Because you are the one who built the jail. You are the one who put yourself inside. You are the one who locked it. Thinking you locked it, there's no lock. And you're screaming your lungs out for the rest of your life. Release me, release me, release me, release me, release me. Nobody else can do that because nobody put you in there in the first place. Yes.
When you say that we are unaware of it, that usually means to us that it's something we hold in our subconscious or unconscious, a part of the mind that we're not directly in touch with. Is that sort of the way we were understanding it here?
Okay, so you're asking, is unawareness equal to the subconscious or unconscious part? Unconscious part of me? Is that what you're asking? Did I get it right?
The unconscious part of the mind that's not directly accessible.
Yes. And you're asking, is that equal to unawareness? When I say unawareness, is it the unconscious part of the mind? Yes, it is. The mind itself has both. The mind has a conscious part in it, the mind has an unconscious part in it. Obviously, the only way is to have the consciousness become bigger and bigger, grow more and more, inside the light of which the unconsciousness disappears. But unconsciousness itself is what? As you rightly said, yes, it is unawareness, but it's a collection of what? Exactly. It's a collection of incomplete, broken memories. It's a collection of various incomplete, immature, binding cognitions, understandings that we have in our life. And that is the biggest thing you will see transforming in your life after inner awakening. Because every single day, what do you think you're doing? You're working on your unconscious part throughout the day. And Swamiji of course, when I say you, Swamiji is working through you, into you, through the day on the unconscious part. By, write down this, write down that, get this pattern, get that pattern. In the night, what's happening? He's directly blasting and expanding the conscious part in you. So this is the only program where you have the combination of both happen. What, you don't remember? You can't. That's a good point. She's saying, I don't remember what's happening in the night. You can't remember because you and me are not in that dimension. The dimension at which he is playing the game, we will not be able to know unless we grow to that level. You'll have to expand there to get the experience of what that is. But he's sitting there to do only that. Whether we know it or not, eventually we'll obviously get in touch with that. And that is why he keeps on saying, do sincerely, do intensely, because that your remembering, what you said just now, Maggie, will happen at a much higher level if you're doing all this very sincerely.
Actually, you will see the result of what I am doing through darshan. Then you will understand. If you have done any of this kind of intellectual programs, you would have had only idea. Now when you go back, you will see whatever is taught here is your cognition. It will not be just your idea. You will not have a struggling period. Go ahead.
And they're saying we don't feel the conscious part expanding. Unless, as far as the unconscious is there, you can't feel the conscious part. That's the problem. No, obviously, because he doesn't have any unconscious, he's the only one who can do the conscious bit for us. Thankfully. Do you guys understand? The unconscious bit anywhere you can do, even theoretically you can do. But that will only be powerful when the conscious bit in you starts increasing. That space has to simultaneously be worked on. And which is what Swamiji is doing through the day and through the night, day in and day out in the program. And I think we've not even covered 1% of the syllabus. We have a lot to cover. We have 99% more to cover. So it'll get so deeper and deeper, you will see, as the days go. So I'm really excited for all of us. All right, so let's start the process then. We'll start the guilt process. Now let's look at desire sheet 1. Identifying the 3 root guilts. Go back to your early childhood. Recollect the first incident when you had the experience that something was wrong with you. Describe the incident and your experience vividly. Identify and write down areas of your life where you experience and express this guilt even now. Second question, go back to your early teenage years and recollect the incident when you had the experience that you did not belong to a group or groups of people. An example is an incident where you felt, an incident which is an accident only. An incident where you felt you did not belong to your family anymore and where you did not belong to your community or something like that. It could be any group of people. Describe the incident and your experience vividly. Identify and write down areas of your life where you experience and express this guilt even now. Third, go back to your adulthood years and recollect an incident when you had the experience you are all alone in life from now on. Describe the incident and your experience vividly. Identify and write down areas of your life where you experience and express this guilt even now. Then lastly, scan your life and pen down all the guilts that you are currently carrying in your life and describe them clearly. Then the second part of guilt is the 3 layers of guilt. Go back to your early childhood, typically between age 3 to 7. Recollect and describe incidents where the seeds of guilt was sown in you with regards to your own body. Example, when your parents stopped you from playing with your own body. Like typically when you were a child, if you were sucking your thumb or you were putting your leg into your mouth. Children do all kinds of things. Or when you were playing around with some other part of your body and you were told sternly by someone, stop doing that, don't touch here, don't touch there, that is wrong, that is bad, that kind of a thing. Go back to your early adolescence, typically between 7 and 14 years of age. Recollect and describe the incidents where seeds of guilt were related to sex were sown in you, in any form. If you've heard, seen, you were told, whatever that is, please write that down. Then the third one, go back to early adulthood years, 15 to 23, recollect the guilt you accumulated because you experienced failure in fulfilling needs of people who depend on you. Could be a spouse, kids, friends, parents, anyone. If you were not able to relate with others in a way that you thought you failed them, you lost trust with them or they lost trust with you. That's the third question. Is that clear? So please start writing. We got to finish, obviously, desire and guilt both. If you're doing desire, please finish desire first before you move to guilt. Somebody asked yesterday actually, if there's a guilt and a pain, should I write? I said, write it. Write it twice. You lived it 1,000 times before it became you. So let's do it again and again so that it just leaves us. Any other questions?
How many of you finished? Still how many are writing? Few minutes, finish it. I'll give instruction.